You're listening to Heritage Radio Network. HRN is food radio supported by you. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org. This episode of Pizza Quest is brought to you by Central Milling, hand-selected grain, expertly milled for passionate bakers. Central Milling is the farmer, the miller, and the baker working together to preserve American farmland for tomorrow while providing the highest quality flour and grains for the bakers of today. Dating back over 150 years, Central Milling is built on generations of knowledge, and they know that premium flour starts at the source. Employee-owned, Central Milling works directly with their farmers to sustainably grow grains that have exceptional flavor, nutrient content, color, and baking performance, which results in one of the largest selections of premium specialty flour and grains in the country. Hand-selected for the highest baking qualities, milled, cracked, or blended slowly to minimize heat generation, then bake-tested for performance. Learn more about Central Milling and their products at centralmilling.com. I'm Peter Reinhardt. Welcome to Pizza Quest. I'm coming to you from the International Pizza Expo in Las Vegas. We've been here for a couple of days. We've recorded a lot of episodes of Pizza Quest while we're here, and we've been meeting many interesting people, including two more right now that I will introduce you to. And one is Tom McNaughton. You go Thomas or Tom?
From the East Coast, so anything but Tommy, you know? You can call me Thomas, Tom.
But not Tommy.
Yeah, just not Tommy.
All right,
you know?
no Tommy. Okay, Tom McNaughton. And then Ryan, is it Polino?
Polnow, yeah, exactly.
Polnow.
Yeah.
And they are the principals behind one of San Francisco's most beloved restaurants, Flour and Water,
Yeah.
which is now, I'm learning from you guys, that is expanding to a Flour and Water pizzeria in North Beach, San Francisco.
Right.
Right. What is it? Like not too far from Tony. Tony's Napolitano.
So there's two entrances to the new pizzeria. The back entrance, that's the home of our to-go operations, opens right onto Tony's. Next door, across the street, neighbors. But,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, North Beach is big enough for always big enough for more pizza. For good pizza.
Yeah.
And you guys,
Hopefully, it's like a Philly Patangino's scenario. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And already, that the great neighborhood. I love that neighborhood. I used to live in the city, and it's very close to the church where Joe DiMaggio married Marilyn Monroe.
Exactly.
Great landmarks there.
Yeah.
And all the old coffee houses where the beatniks hung out. And now, of course, it's becoming an epicenter for pizza, for more great pizza. I don't know if it's still there, but there used to be a restaurant called Cafe Sport. Have you seen that?
I think it closed down.
Because that was my go-to restaurant when I lived in the city. That's where I discovered pasta with pesto back in 1973 or 4.
Wow.
And it was a revelation. I never had pesto before. But so I love that part of the town. But the original Flour and Water is in the Mission District.
Right,
so on the other side of the town.
And so Flour and Water, the original, we call it the OG in the restaurant group, opened in 2009. Quickly after we opened, we realized the heart of the menu was going to be our fresh pasta program.
Yeah.
We built this elaborate dough room to produce it daily. So really fortunate it's making it to 14 years.
But I remember when you opened, because I was, we were just starting Pizza Quest then, and I was doing, video. We were coming to the city to do video. I was up the street over at, right next door to Delfina. We were filming at Pizzeria Delfina, and then we were doing also some stuff at Tartine.
Yeah.
And so we got some great footage there. And it was like, do we have time? I want to check out this Flour and Water, And we didn't. We ran out of time to be able to get over there. But you were known for
it's
your
overrated
pizzas
anyway,
Flour and Water. But you were getting great rave reviews for your pizzas.
So not a lot of people know this. The original pizzaiola that we hired was John Darsky. John Darsky, who owns Pizza di Popolo.
Which is now
in San Francisco, and he's at the Pizza di Popolo truck. He's got a line of frozen pizza in Whole Foods.
Big brand.
It's become his own things, And so Flour and Water Neapolitan oven. We say we're kind of close to a true Neapolitan. Our ethos of our toppings alone, working with small farms, I think we kind of are, I think it's we're closer to a California.
Definitely got the California state of mind.
Yeah, the vibe.
Yeah.
No offense to hippies, but the pizzeria. So this will be we're actually moving from its original location. We opened Flower and Water Pizzeria, and that is a deck style. And the idea is that our Neapolitan pizza at Flower and Water, as soon as it hits the table, start a stopwatch. And it gets worse and worse and worse. It's magical when it first hits the table, but it's Neapolitan
you got to eat it right then and there.
You got to eat it right then and there. And so we wanted to develop a product, one, that we really crave, and two, that can hold up in a box for a little bit.
Yeah.
And so that really brought us to Pizza Masters. And so it's a deck oven pizza.
Pizza Masters is an oven company.
It's an oven company, and it's actually electric. It's this insanely high-powered electric oven that you can control heat in many different ways within it. But we still adhere to the values and ethos behind sourcing for that dough. It's a radically different recipe, and it's really a balance of a deck oven meets a higher char. Which means we're allowed to burn the pizzas every now and then.
Get their mind around sort of something equivalent. But from what you're just describing right now, I'm thinking of something like a piece of Shoals in Portland. Would it be comparable to that style in a way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I love that char. First of all, I'm a big char guy. I love it. I love the char. And but your crust has got snap to it.
Yeah. We do. It's a fighting for the microphone here. We do a 3-day. We introduce a little bit of yeast, and we do a 3-day, 3 to 4 day dough. It's a higher hydration at 72%. I think the worst way you can describe a pizza is cracker. Sounds like a flatbread to me.
Yeah.
We want high acidity through a slow rise. We want a high hydration and being able to stretch a certain style, have an oven spring.
Yep.
And it's quite, I do think that Pizza Shoals is a great example, and they do amazing things. I've been following them for years, but it has quite a unique look to it.
Yeah.
And we want to introduce more texture. We want longevity in the dough. We want high acidity.
But you're not open yet, right? Are you still working on?
So we moved it. Yeah, the grand opening is going to be early this summer.
Oh, you were already making these pizzas in your former location.
So Flower and Water
like
Pizzeria opened. It operated for 2 years.
Okay. With the pizza we'll see in North Beach.
Yeah, and just myself and Ryan. Ryan's not only the co-chef, but really the culinary director and partner in the entire restaurant group. He oversees all of the kitchen operations. We're always tinkering. We're never happy, right?
That's good, yeah.
And so we're actually for the opening in June. We're doing a lot of things very unique in the design and layout of a glassed-in dough room, how we're utilizing proof of retarders and our mixers and things like that. But this will be version 2.0, similar.
Yeah.
But we're also right now testing out our flour blends to see to see where we stand. So it's not.
How do you divide the creative work then, Ryan? What do you do, or do you both do the same things? But
Ryan does all the work. I just try to take the credit.
You get the mic. He's in the back doing the work.
Yeah, we have a great relationship in the kitchen, and we approach food very similarly. And so the creative process is very much collaborative between the two of us. I'm from California, and Tom's from the East Coast, Jersey. And so Tom has that reference point of East Coast Italian-American pizzeria. And growing up in the Bay Area, I have a great familiarity with the different farms and produce.
Right, you got that Chez Panisse influence.
Exactly. And so it comes together quite easily for us.
Well, have you both been from the beginning? Are you the creative force from the beginning of Flower and Water?
So Ryan came on not long after. Everything that Flower and Water stands for as a brand today, Ryan's been a part of developing. So it wasn't there at the very, very beginning, but certainly we also launched a couple of months ago our CPG line of dried pastas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
And will you be doing any pasta at the new pizzeria? Will it be pizza only?
Yeah.
And so
Pizza
if you want
only.
for people that want the pasta, they go back to
Pasta,
OG.
flour and water OG. We have this incredible pasta tasting menu next to an a la carte. It's a little bit more elevated in style of restaurant. When we opened in 2009, it was really this juxtaposition of kind of rock and roll atmosphere, but refinement of food on the plate, and Neapolitan pizzas. And so the pizzeria is it's our ode to pizzerias. And
so the original, the OG location in the Mission is still going to be doing the Neapolitan pizzas,
right.
But it's really known more for the pastas, is what you're saying.
Sure,
And that's sort of driving that location.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's where you're kind of doing a lot of creative, continually creative work there.
Certainly, yeah.
So this is kind of interesting. So you're kind of split. You're cross town from yourself,
right?
You said June is the opening.
Well, we'll see. It's Pizza Master gets there.
Well, by the time we're waiting for Pizza
Master
to
get
the
gear,
so tell us what's going on with
another.
Pizza. You were telling me earlier the Pizza Masters they can't keep up, right? I mean,
can't keep up. No.
So pizzerias around the country are demanding this oven because they've come out with a great oven, but they can't meet the demand. So how long ago did you order these ovens, and how long have you been waiting for them?
Man, I don't even know if we can talk on the record.
Yeah, right.
So
just to know that you're not the only ones that are victims of this circuit. This is of their
we're
success
still coming out.
plus probably the supply issues.
We try not to talk about the pandemic anymore and try to move on.
Yeah.
But I think that companies are not out of it yet as far as the supply chain goes.
Yeah.
Keeping up with demand. And it's interesting what the evolution of the pizza world, what happened during COVID. So many restaurants, so many high-end chefs that were doing these magical plates of Michelin-starred food, they were going to companies like Pizza Master and saying, hey, we need to install one super quick, and we're going to do this to-go program, and we're going to flip the script.
But let me ask you this, and maybe both of you can chime in on this one. Somehow Pizza Master they're new players in a sense in the pizza oven world. There's a lot of great pizza ovens out there, but suddenly they have gotten a lot of traction. What is it about the oven that you like?
A niche.
What it's doing for the pizza that got you excited about it?
It's very much a niche product in the fact that when you think of a New York City deck oven, you're talking about a gas oven. And the how that oven regulates, keeps, sustains heat, and where that heat comes from is quite, you talk about a Neapolitan oven and wood-fired. It's really all about natural convection of heat and retaining that heat, right?
In the dome,
And deck ovens are quite the opposite, where, a lot of them, they run at different temps, how they're insulated. There's not a ton of insulation. Pizza Master really started to help the conversation and develop an electric deck oven that you can control heat in two sources, both the deck and the top. The oven, the oven slots or wells. I don't know what you call that. The whole of the oven is quite small in height. And so it allows like a reflection of heat from both top and bottom. The recovery, because it's they're not for every business because they pull such a massive amount of electricity.
Well, I was going to ask about that.
Difficult to go into old buildings and
we're not going
to
see the North Beach start the lights going out.
No. And so they've really found a niche, and it was just like any great product. We'll see if we get our ovens in time. I don't know if I should be saying too many nice things about it.
We're going to anticipate the ovens are going to come. And if they know that you're saying nice things, maybe they'll put
this on the PA system. Just like any quality product, it was niche that showed immediate results. Pizzaiolas, pizza people, chefs, everybody saw those results and gravitated to it. And so,
I know, for instance, that we were talking about a Pizza Shoals in Portland, that Brian is using one of their ovens there, and he switched over from Baker's Pride, I think. If I'm not mistaken, we're gonna have Brian on later today.
Oh, cool.
So we're gonna get with him, but so he fell in love with it as well. And I just over the last 2 years, I've just heard of so many people, embracing that brand that it got me curious of what are they doing that nobody else is doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
other than not keeping up with the demand.
No. I think it's really it is unique, and then they have competitors out there. There's guys that are going down the same swim lane. But yeah, no, it is a fabulous oven. And the power, the retention of heat, and the control of that heat, and the recovery of that heat is really, in my opinion, what makes it a great oven.
Well, I know that
there's also the environmental aspect to it as well, with electricity being a cleaner fuel than gas.
Yeah, and that's sort of been a new revelation for everybody. But talk a little bit more about what we're going to see when you start doing the pieces. Maybe give people because by the time this airs, to be honest with you, we're going to be closer to your opening date. Because we've got a lot of other shows that'll probably come on before yours. So as people are hearing this, they're going to go, wow, I'm heading out to San Francisco. They may be open now. So let's say you hit that June target, and we're around thinking that June for this show. What will they see, on the menu there?
So the beauty of the design of the pizzeria is we're not hiding anything. The dough room, as Tom mentioned earlier, in the space, forming, fermenting, portioning is all on display inside the actual dining room. And
so you see it from the dining room, not from the street.
Right. So the dining room's huge. It's over 4,000 square feet.
This is a former Rose Pistola restaurant.
Exactly.
People who know San Francisco will remember Rose Pistola, because when I lived there, that was an iconic restaurant. Yeah,
iconic restaurant, and a huge stepping stone for Italian food in the Bay Area, if not the country.
It was a beloved restaurant. I didn't know it was gone.
And we're keeping some pieces of the design to make sure that we're tipping our hat to where the space started. And so the center of that dining room is going to be divided by a glassed-in dough room where we're doing all of that production. Half of the space will be kind of a to-go pizza parlor where you can have a slice or grab a pie to go.
Oh,
vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game in there.
Oh yeah, but you said there'll be like a little slice shop aspect too then.
Yeah, so we do the big slice. So growing up in Jersey, there was a spot that we would go to called Januzzi's Pizza in Margate, New Jersey.
Wow,
Shout
Margate.
out to Januzzi's.
I went to that beach. I never been to Januzzi's, but I've been to
remember
Margate.
Lucy, the big elephant?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was almost like my reference point whenever I would go to the Jersey Shore.
Yeah. And so Januzzi has a big slice. We were kids, right?
Yeah,
and $1.50, I think, was like
right.
a slice the size.
But it was a huge slice. Yeah.
Size of your body. And so as we started to develop the dough here, I wanted to do the big slice. And we originally opened in the Mission, and we wanted to compete with people walking down the street with a Mission burrito. And so the big slice is actually a half of, so we do a 13-inch, it's a 280-gram ball of dough. The big slice is a half of that 13-inch pizza.
Wow.
Folded over. And so you can eat it almost like a panini walking down the street.
Wow.
And we'll do things like marinara, arugula, and
you
there.
can get into the John Travolta walk.
Yeah. And so the big slice, so it's the front entrance is Flour and Water Pizzeria, 65-seat restaurant. The center of it's the glassed-in dough room. And then the back entrance is Flour and Water Pizza Shop. And that will house the to-go operation, and we're really building it for volume.
I see.
And then the big slice, you could be able to get the big slice, a boozy slushy, things like that from the back of it.
So, what about and I know that this is subject to change, but price point for it. So, what would a big slice? What are you targeting price for big slice?
So our pies, I said there's not a variance in size. We do roughly a 13-inch. Depends who's stretching it, I guess. 13-inch pizza. We do a margarita. 2023 pricing. Our margarita will probably start late teens, and then pizzas will go into probably mid-20s.
But that's pretty reasonable, not only for these times, but for that size of a pizza. Yeah.
And that's the thing. We're selling Flour and Water. We're not selling lobster and caviar.
Yeah.
As our partner David Steele named the restaurant off of. We want to keep it. We want to keep it reasonable. So.
And so, what? And again, I know you're very sensitive to seasonal, and local
Yeah.
farmers and things like that. So what are some of the pizzas you've already been doing or that you're kind of known for as far as styles, toppings? and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. We have classics that will never leave the menu. I would say classics. I mean, let's say around 50%. The other 50% is up to the season. We'll do.
So what are some of the signature pies? So if somebody's coming for the first time, I'm visiting San Francisco, it's my one chance to get here this trip. What's the one I have to have before I leave?
Born out of the original pizzeria was the OG Bear. It was named after a friend. It's the only pizza that has a funky name to it. It's mushrooms that are it's roasted mushrooms. So what is it? It's garlic, spinach, roasted mushrooms, Taleggio cheese, which is a wash rind cheese, got a lot of funk to it.
Yep.
Shaved shallot, and it's something that instant hit.
It's a signature.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's unique to you guys.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I'm down for one of the.
Yeah.
Can you get that in a big slice?
So the big slice the flavor changes daily, but it's only one big slice.
One type a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like.
So say it's in
cheese board.
summertime, we're doing like shaved summer squash, arugula. Usually it'll typically be like a white pie with a little bit of marinara on top.
Well,
we're cheese in the middle joint. So we go.
Cheese in the middle.
Dough, aged motz, sauce on top, and then fresh cheese on top. So it's
that
our
kind of
fresh
helps
fruit
prevent
latte.
kind of a dough line too in the. in the crust.
It prevents gumming. It allows oven spring. It retains heat. Because that melted cheese in the middle retains heat for the pie, and then it helps season it too when it's aged motz.
I'm still getting pretty hungry just hearing about these.
Hyped up over here too.
You had mentioned something earlier about you're still playing with flour. I mean, you've been making the pizza for a few years already. So are you still tweaking the flour choices, or is it just about what's available now?
Well, the same reason why we started a line of dried pasta is that we want to be a part of the conversation around regenerative agriculture. We want to North American Durham semolina is some of the best flour in the world. It's what true great dried pasta is made from. On the pizza side, it's the same thing. We will be going through volumes of flour. You can't just take your same ratio and use a different flour. Again, even our 72% hydration, depending on the flour, that could go up to 73, maybe 74 for some. It's kind of teetering. Wheels are coming off after 74 for us. So depending on what flour, and for many reasons, the ethos behind it, who produces it, although Flour and Water OG really thrives on inconsistent product from our farms. It kind of forces creativity. At the pizzeria, we need a certain level of consistency in flour blends. So there's a couple of options on the shelf.
Do you have certain mills that you like to work with?
There's a couple great on the West Coast. We're not going to say until we choose the final. Choose the final
you haven't
one.
finalized, But
no.
But up till now, you've already been working with something. I know a lot of the Bay Area restaurants are working with Central Milling, for example, which are right there in Petaluma.
At Flour and Water OG with the Neapolitan style. In the beginning we were using Caputo flour because flour just wasn't being talked about at that point when Flour and Water opened as much as it should be, and we had a really eye-opening presentation from Nikki at Central Milling. And we've since switched that 00 to the Central Milling, and we've seen an improvement in performance and also flavor quality because it's being milled here, and it's a fresher product, and it has, in my opinion, better performance qualities than even the large
Italian
company
flours, But that's interesting because we had Nicky on yesterday. We were recording with him making the focaccia he's serving here at Pizza Expo, and so we had the sound of the mixer slapping the dough around and all, and we were just talking about just sort of some of his technique, but also I've known those guys for a long time, and my original, when I had my bakery in Santa Rosa, Keith Justo was my flour. He was my flour dude back in 1988. So we go back a long way with the Justo family. And Nicky has been a wonder kid coming out of. I knew him when he didn't know how to make a loaf of bread, and then within 3 to 5 years of working with his uncle Keith, he was captain of the Olympic bread team.
He truly knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's terrific.
We thought we were passionate about dough, and then sat down with Nicky for a couple of hours and realized we have a lot to learn.
Have
as
you
well.
sat down with Keith yet?
No.
Oh my God! Now you can add a couple amps more on top of that when you talk about passion. Yeah. So well, that's interesting. But like everyone has to keep their eyes open for what will work best for us. And so it's always good to have other options, a fallback. I always felt like I had to have 2 mills in my back pocket because you never know when you're going to get a call from them saying we're out of stock or something happened or whatever. So I don't know if you're talking to other sources, but
no, definitely it's super important. Again, like we are inconsistent with. Maybe that's not the right word. We invite inconsistency on products from our farms. It's difficult to manage when you're talking about wheat.
Yeah, it's a real challenge because bakers want to be able to have a very predictable outcomes each and every time. Whereas chefs love to be able to just get, okay, this is what I got today.
Yeah.
It's nothing like what I had yesterday, and I'm going to make something cool out of it.
Yeah, a great example of that is that, so this is kind of the home of the brand, Flour and Water Pizzeria, right? It's like Chef Ryan was saying, it's a larger restaurant, it's full of liquor, but in the Bay Area, we're going to open up smaller shops, 1,500 square feet, that will surround. So East Bay, North Bay, South Bay. The idea around consistency was the whole reason why we built this glassed-in dough room is because we're going to centralize dough production.
I see.
And have a small team be able to feed and refrigerate.
It'd be like a
truck.
commissary for the other shops. Yeah.
Exactly. And
And that's cool because in the Bay Area, everything's fairly close. You can get to each other.
Yeah.
So that's exciting to think about.
And our the new North Beach location, we're 10 minutes from the Bay Bridge and 12 minutes from the Golden Gate Bridge.
It's a great location.
Assuming there's no traffic.
And one of the best views in the world of the heart of the Bay and the bridge.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I can't wait to come back to the city. And of course, by the time I get back there, because I don't have anything on my schedule until late summer, maybe.
Yeah.
You'll be open by then. So
we'll see.
We'll want to come by.
We'll see. Pizza Master. Shout out Pizza Master.
I'm counting on it. We're good. The Pizza Master booth is just on that side of the hall.
But we just came from it.
Get it ready.
We just came from it.
And Peter, I know this is Pizza Quest, but we brought you a little something to.
I wanted to come back and talk about this pasta because you mentioned earlier that you're doing a line of dried pasta. So now this is a branded Flour and Water spaghetti. I see this is yes.
So we just brought the spaghetti, but there's four SKUs that we're producing: spaghetti, Campagnole, which is like little bells.
Oh yeah.
Old school macaroni for the lovers out there. And penne pasta.
But the Flour Water OG, are you making your pasta dishes with dried pasta or with fresh pasta?
No, we have a extruder on site. I'd say our pasta program's 80% egg yolk based, fresh pasta.
Yeah.
And then the other 20%, when we do extrude it, we extrude and cook it that day. And that's purely, it's slightly different in texture, but that's purely the cook time, on a 14-minute noodle. On a fresh extruded, it's less than 2 minutes.
Right.
So.
But does this pasta, is it made with local semolina then flour?
So it's all it's a blend of North American semolina. Wow. And so it's all North American. A lot of people don't know the big boys, Barilla, all those guys, they're all buying North
American flour.
Yeah, they're buying Desert Durham from North America because it's some of the best in the world. They fly it back. Sometimes they mill it here. They'll fly it back there, extrude there. Sometimes they'll extrude here. But it's all labeled. It all looks like it's straight off the boat from Italy.
Yeah.
So this is a proud American-based modern pasta company.
And how available for people that are listening who are not in the Bay Area? How can they get this pasta? Is it going to be available online?
We did. So we have a direct-to-consumer. If you go to flourandwaterfoods.com,
okay.
It's a bunch of terrible cooking videos with me and Ryan there.
We'll look forward to that.
Yeah, trying to make our way through it.
And if you are in the Bay Area, we're in Whole Foods currently, and hitting the ground running with this new product and trying to get into all the local markets. So hopefully your local grocer in Northern California, you'll see it on the shelves.
Well, something to look forward to for everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you guys for coming on today. I know that
really appreciate
your
having
time
us
here at the expo is limited.
Yeah.
So we're so thrilled that you could be here. We've been talking with Thomas McNaughton and Ryan Solnow. Is that how you say?
Polnow. Yeah.
And they're kind of the creative team at Flower and Water, and now Flower Water Pizza in San Francisco, and a venerable, popular, famous, beloved brand is going to get even bigger and more available to everybody there.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for
Appreciate the time.
being here. Thanks for the pasta. Can't wait to get this
Yeah,
home.
yeah, of
I will
course.
call my wife and tell her to get ready.
Of course.
We're going to
Keep it
try
al
out.
dente. Keep it al dente.
Al dente, absolutely. And thank you all for listening to Pizza Quest today. Thank you guys for being with us.
All right.
And we'll see the rest of you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Pizza Quest. A number of the conversations you will hear this season were recorded over a 2-day period during the 2023 International Pizza Expo held in Las Vegas, Nevada. These recordings would not have been possible without the help of many people and our generous underwriters, but I'd like to take a moment now to especially thank some of the unsung heroes. My Pizza Quest partners, Jeff Michael and Brad English, our HRN recording producer, Liam Werner, as well as HRN's Matt Patterson and Joanna Garnett-Reipold, and also Alexander Mortati of Orlando Foods, who organized and coordinated the schedules of many of our guests to get them to our recording table throughout the expo. Thank you to all of you. Pizza Quest is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.